What's the word, y'all? It's your boy Big Will, Life After Prison TV. Before we get going with the video, viewer discretion is advised. This content talks about illegal narcotics and may not be suitable for all audiences. All substances used in this video are not real and are used for educational purposes only. But let's go on and see what the video has to talk about. Hit that like, subscribe, notification bells.
This is the approximate number of prescription pills one would have to ingest to kill them. This is the amount of heroin the average person would have to ingest to kill them.
And by prescription pills, he's talking about opiates, Oxycontin, oxycodone. There are other pills such as Valium. They are in the benzodiazepine family. And all narcotics, whether prescribed from a doctor or not, should be taken in moderation and follow the directions. Let's say if you have those involved in taking it. Obviously, when you're taking them as to feel good or as an addiction, there are certain risks associated. And kids today, or anytime for that matter, they just don't follow directions. Nowadays, you got so many people making fake pills that you never know what you're going to get. And that all started out with Molly, MDA. They were mixing things into it that you didn't even know you were taking. They were mixing opiates and benzos and speed all together to come up with a pill that would give you a reaction of euphoric feeling. And it was killing people.
Fentanyl? You're going to have to bring that camera up here real close to see it. This much fentanyl would kill you and I if we split it.
Now you see that's the size of a grain of rice. And fentanyl is so fluffy and powdery that when you open it, it becomes airborne. And the spores they envelop into your lungs and into your system. And before you know it, people just drop that quick. When you have no tolerance to opiates, when you have no tolerance to fentanyl or heroin, it will kill you quick. Me being a former drug addict, the first time I used fentanyl, it was mixed in with something. And when I tried it, I was like, what's the big deal about this, right? But it was just that it was cut so much that I didn't feel it. Well, lo and behold, it came around again, and I said, sure, let me try it. Well, the second time I wasn't so lucky. I luckily didn't die. As you see, I'm still here. But I fell out, and by falling out, it means that I took the drug and I just went out, right? And I woke up, I don't know how long later, lodged between the sink vanity in the bathroom and the toilet. Well, I had pinched the nerve in my right arm, and I'm right-handed. I had pinched the nerve in my right arm, and my hand was stuck I was stuck. My arm was, I couldn't open my arm. I had no control of my arm. I couldn't open my hand. I couldn't use my arm, my hand. And it was probably maybe 6 days, 5 days. Now, obviously, I thought I paralyzed my arm forever, you know. With the grace of God, it came back. But did that deter me from using drugs? Absolutely not. To me, when I was in that lifestyle, that was the, oh, look what this did. Wow, this thing put me out. Let me get it again. Not putting into effect or thinking about my family and friends. I have lost so many friends and family. My brother, God rest his soul, 6 years ago, went to jail for 30 days on a driving ticket. He had gotten pulled over and he had no license. And he went into, they gave him 30 days in jail. He got out in that 30 days of cleanness. He got out and he used fentanyl and he passed away. Now, to add to the story, 2 years before he passed away, him and his wife split up for, I don't know, a month, whatever. They were going back and forth with problems. And she had gone out with her niece and used fentanyl, and she overdosed. So my brother uses, he's a user and never deterred him. But he ended up overdosing from fentanyl, like I said, about 2 years later. So they had left behind a 25-year-old son. They had one son together. And he was so angry at his parents. He was lost. They left him here. And he was just like beyond himself, you know, like my brother was a drug addict. For years. For years we were drug addicts together, and it just ran in my family, right? Ran down from my father. My father was in and out of prison. We grew up in the projects. And we were just, you know, as adults, we were drug addicts and drug dealers, and that's what we did, right? So my brother and his wife passed away, and their son is lost and living with friends, and he's so angry. He's totally against drugs and people who take them. He's just disgusted with them, and well, he goes and buys a couple of perks, fake perks off the street that were pressed with fentanyl, and he died. God rest his soul, Joe. So there's a whole family, a bloodline wiped out. They all died from fentanyl. And when it's in your family, you just don't think about it, right? You just go on, and if you're an addict, you keep using, right? Like I said, I went down from my father starting out as a drug addict, and me, my brothers, plural, my uncles on both sides, my mother and my father's side. Like I said, we all grew up in the projects, and that's what we did, right? We were all addicts and drug dealers. Well, my 17-year-old brother, was a baby, and he was sheltered from the street life. He wasn't born in the projects, right? After my father was on his third marriage, and we were all grown at the time, and they had moved to Florida for several years, and my brother was an athlete and wanted to be involved in the family business, I'll say, right? And he wanted to make some money, so he got some heroin, and he tried it. And his very first time trying heroin, he overdosed and died. He was with a friend, and the friend just watched him lay there and die. Never called 911. His mother came home. My stepmother, his mother came home. And she had said to his friend Jared, "Hey, these guys want to help me with the groceries and laundry." She was out shopping and doing the laundry. And Jared just left and said, "Nick's sleeping." His mother said, "Okay." Well, she went down, brought the groceries in and put the laundry away and put the groceries away and went to wake him up. "Nick, come on, wake up." And when she went to wake him up, he was blue. And he was passed away. And I say this because there's so much death and destruction that drugs and opiates bring to families. And yet, we still use them, right? That was my brother. My two brothers passed away from drugs. My uncle on my mother's side. I have my daughter is 21. She'll be 22 in 2 weeks. She was born. We had her we had her baptism in June of 2003. She was born in February. And we all had a family gathering, a good time. And my uncle on my mother's side was there. We have pictures. I'll share the last picture he ever took. But he went home after the baptism, after we all had a family gathering, and he was a heroin addict, and he overdosed and died. And I say things like that, again, when he died, it didn't deter us. When my 17-year-old brother passed away from overdosing, we were at his funeral. Hi, everybody. My father, my brothers. And it wasn't out of any disrespect or anything. It was just the lifestyle we lived. And drugs control you. They consume your life. And they are not. They don't discriminate. You could be a police officer, a fireman, a cop, a priest, a school teacher, a politician, a mother, a daughter. Don't matter who you are. Drugs, when you give them the opportunity, they will take over your life. My clean day is January 16, 2016, the day after Martin Luther King Day. And I feel grateful that I just made 9 years. And I'm still alive, because I never thought I would. After overdosing several times. After driving and crashing my car, and people say drugs take everything from you. They don't. You give them away. Drugs cannot take over your body unless you give in to them. All you have to do is say no. And if you're a person struggling from drugs and or alcohol, reach out for help. There is help out there. And we do recover. It's a daily struggle. But it gets easier after years. But let's listen to this guy.
They put fentanyl in cocaine. They put fentanyl in heroin. They put fentanyl, as we already know and talked about, into counterfeit pills.
They put fentanyl in weed. For you people that don't know it. I tell you, it comes in a powder form like heroin or a pill, or they're putting in cocaine. It's a downer. Cocaine's a speed. They're putting in cocaine. So people speedballing, right? And they're dying. People are buying weed and they're spraying the weed down with fentanyl. Ain't that some shit for you? You don't know, you go and you buy a pound, an ounce, a dime bag of weed, not knowing that it's laced with fentanyl, and you overdose.
It's odorless, it's tasteless, you don't know it's there. And when you find out it's there, it's too late. You won't even know it. You'll be dead. 2,500 people would be killed by that amount of fentanyl. Does that sound like a drug to you? Does that sound more like a poison? I was a police officer for 31 years, and during my time in narcotics, I'd never heard of fentanyl. In homicide, I saw many, many tragic things. I saw people that were killed by shootings, stabbings, beatings. Nothing that I saw at that particular time would have ever prepared me.
If you need help, call or reach out. There is help available. Call the number on the screen. Go to na.org. Reach out. There's help available. It's your boy Big Will. Life After Prison TV. See you on the next one. Peace.